Alex stood at the edge of the docking bay, staring at the massive silhouette of the space station hovering above the planet. It was bigger than anything he had ever seen back on Earth, a city of lights and metal floating in the thin blue atmosphere. Ships moved like small fireflies around it, docking and departing, each carrying people and cargo from all corners of the galaxy. For Alex, a human engineer who had spent most of his life on Earth, the station was both exciting and terrifying. He adjusted the strap of his backpack and checked his ID again. "Station Alpha 9, Sector 3, Apartment 47, he muttered to himself. He had been chosen for this posting because of his engineering skills, but part of the selection also required living with a roommate of an alien species. That detail had been optional in the briefing, but it was impossible to avoid now. When the elevator doors opened, he stepped into a hallway bathed in soft white light. The walls were smooth and metallic, with panels that displayed vital station information. He found apartment 47 easily and tapped his ID against the door. A soft hiss announced its opening. Inside, the apartment was modest but cozy. There was a small kitchen, a living area with chairs and a table, and a sleeping area partitioned by a half wall. A soft hum of machinery filled the room, but what immediately caught Alex's attention was the figure in the corner. Lyra was sitting cross-legged on the floor, her body slightly translucent in the dim light. Her skin shimmered with faint colors, moving like water over her body, and her large, luminous eyes seemed to look right through him. She had no hair as humans knew it, but delicate, flexible tendrils framed her face. Her voice, when she spoke, was melodic and calm. "You must be Alex," she said, her tone polite but gentle. "Welcome to our shared quarters." Alex nodded, trying not to let his nervousness show. "Hi, Lyra. Yeah, I guess this is it." Lyra smiled, though it was more like a soft glow across her face. "Yes, here we begin the tradition." Alex tilted his head. "The tradition?" Lyra moved closer, her movements graceful and silent. "In my species, the Velari, sharing sleeping quarters is a sign of trust. It strengthens the bond between roommates or friends. You will sleep near me and I will sleep near you. It is customary." Alex's eyes widened. "Near as in the same bed." Lyra's eyes glimmered with amusement. "Yes, in the same bed, but do not worry, it is not uncomfortable. It is meant to be peaceful. A shared presence gives both participants calm and reassurance." Alex swallowed hard. He had expected a roommate, perhaps someone from a different planet, but this was different. It was unlike anything he had imagined. Okay, if it's important to you, I'll try." Lyra nodded, as if reading his thoughts. "You need only consent, there is no pressure. The tradition is based on trust, not obligation." Later that evening, Alex found himself lying on the mattress in the partitioned sleeping area, glancing at Lyra as she moved to her side. The bed was larger than any he had known on Earth, wide enough to comfortably accommodate both of them. The sheets were soft and warm, responding to their body temperatures. Lyra settled beside him, her skin glowing faintly as she adjusted her position. "You may close your eyes," she said softly. "Feel the presence of another and allow your mind to rest." Alex took a deep breath and did as instructed. At first, the experience was strange. He could sense Lyra's calm, rhythmic energy flowing beside him. It was almost as if the bed itself had become a living thing, responding to both of them. His mind, which had been restless since leaving Earth, began to quiet. Over the next few days, Alex learned more about Velari customs. Lyra shared stories of her homeworld, a planet filled with crystal forests and floating lakes that shimmered in colors no human could name. She spoke of their traditions, their emphasis on harmony, and the value they placed on shared emotional experiences. Alex found himself fascinated. Humans had bonds too, of course, but Velari relationships were different. They were built on deep empathy and understanding. Sleeping together was not just a ritual. It was a way to sense each other's thoughts and feelings, to strengthen trust without words. One night, as Alex lay beside Lyra, he noticed something unusual. Her glow flickered faintly, almost like a shadow passing over her form. She shifted uncomfortably, tensing for a moment before settling again. "Lyra," he whispered, "are you okay?" She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, it is a minor discomfort, nothing to worry about. The tradition continues." Alex frowned. He didn't want to press her, but he also didn't like seeing her in pain. "If it's minor, that's fine, but if you need help, you can tell me. I'm not just here to follow rules." Lyra's eyes softened. Your species is unusual, so direct yet kind, it is appreciated. Despite her words, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Over the next few days, he observed her more closely. Sometimes she flinched when moving, other times she seemed to hesitate before lying down. She never complained, but her body language spoke volumes. Alex decided to do some research. He spent hours in the station's library, reading about Velari physiology. He discovered that Velari could suppress signals of pain, especially around others, to avoid burdening them. That explained Lyra's behavior. One evening, after a long day of maintenance work on the station, Alex approached her cautiously. "Lyra, I think I understand. You hide pain sometimes, right?" Lyra looked at him, surprised. "You notice?" "Yes," Alex admitted. "I've been reading about your species. You suppress pain to protect others, but I want you to know it's okay to let me help." She blinked slowly, the glow in her eyes dimming and brightening like she was considering something. Finally, she spoke. "You are unlike many humans I have known. You see, you do not fear discomfort, yet you offer assistance. This, it is comforting." Alex smiled faintly. "Good, then I'll help. We'll make this work together." That night, when they lay down to sleep, Lyra seemed calmer. She didn't flinch or tense as before. Instead, she allowed herself to relax, trusting Alex's presence. The bed, once a strange and foreign experience, now felt like a small island of safety in the vast station. Days passed, and Alex and Lyra's bond grew. They shared stories, laughed over minor mistakes in station operations, and helped each other with small projects. Alex discovered that his human creativity often complemented Lyra's empathic intuition. Together, they repaired minor system malfunctions more efficiently than either could alone. Yet, the tension of the sleeping arrangement remained, not in its purpose, but in the mystery of Lyra's discomfort. Alex vowed to find a solution, not only to honor the tradition but to ensure his roommates' well-being. One evening, as they prepared for sleep, Lyra looked at him with a soft, glowing expression. "Alex, tomorrow we may try something different. Perhaps it will ease the discomfort." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Different how?" "You will see," she said, smiling. "It is part of our tradition to adapt, to learn from others. Human ingenuity is respected." Alex felt a surge of pride. He wasn't just a visitor on this station. He was a participant in a living tradition, bridging worlds with his curiosity and empathy. As he lay down that night, feeling Lyra's calm presence beside him, he realized something profound. Humans were not the strongest species, nor the fastest, nor the most technologically advanced. But their ability to adapt, empathize, and connect, that was something unique. That was something even Velari respected. And in that quiet, softly glowing room, amidst the hum of the station and the stars outside, Alex understood why Velari tradition mattered. It wasn't about sleeping together. It was about trust, care, and understanding across worlds. For the first time in his life, Alex felt truly at home. Not on Earth, not even on the station, but in the shared presence of someone who was completely different yet profoundly connected. And for Lyra, for the first time in a long journey across space, she allowed herself to be at ease, not just in body but in spirit, trusting a human to respect her culture and help her carry her small burden. The station continued its quiet hum outside, oblivious to the small human-alien bond forming inside apartment 47. But Alex knew one thing for certain: this was only the beginning. The tradition had begun, and with it, a story of friendship, trust, and shared courage was unfolding. A story that would test the limits of human ingenuity and Velari empathy, and perhaps change the way the galaxy viewed both species forever. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the station. Sunlight, or what passed for sunlight on Station Alpha 9, filtered through the large observation window, casting streaks of blue and silver across the apartment floor. Lyra was already awake, her form shimmering gently as she floated a few inches above the mattress. "Good morning," Alex said, stretching. Lyra's eyes glimmered softly. "Good morning, Alex. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, better than I expected," he admitted, glancing at her. Lyra hesitated, a faint shadow passing over her glow. "There was some discomfort, but it is manageable." Alex frowned. He had promised himself he would help her, and this was the perfect moment to start. "Manageable or not, I want to try to help. If there's a way to reduce the pain, we should find it together." Lyra blinked at him. Her glow pulsed slowly, as if processing his words. "You insist. Very well, your species is persistent. I appreciate that." After breakfast, Alex set up a small workstation in the living area. He gathered tools, sensors, and diagnostic equipment. Lyra watched quietly, curious but cautious. "Tell me what you feel," Alex said gently. "Where it hurts, how it hurts, anything you can share." Lyra considered this for a moment. "The discomfort is in the joints. My lower limbs experience strain after extended periods of rest in shared sleep positions. My species is naturally flexible, but the presence of another compresses certain areas of my body. It is subtle but consistent." Alex nodded. He was already thinking. "All right. If it's subtle, we might be able to redesign the sleeping arrangement. Something modular, adjustable, maybe even adaptive. I've done similar work with Earth habitats for zero-gravity environments." Lyra tilted her head. "Adaptive, it is intriguing. I will trust your approach." For the rest of the day, Alex worked tirelessly. He measured the mattress, checked its weight distribution, and used sensors to map Lyra's pressure points. Lyra floated beside him, offering guidance when necessary, her glowing form casting moving patterns of light across the walls. By evening, Alex had built a prototype, a series of adjustable cushions and supports that could shift to accommodate Lyra's unique physiology. The system included a gentle warming mechanism and a surface that conformed to both of their bodies. "Tonight, we test it," Alex said, a hint of excitement in his voice. Lyra nodded. "I am curious to experience the result of human ingenuity firsthand." As they prepared for sleep, Alex arranged the cushions according to the data he had collected. Lyra lay down gently, letting him adjust her position. For the first time, she seemed completely at ease, her glow steady and calm. "Now you," she said softly. "Your turn." Alex lay down carefully, feeling the mattress adapt to his body. It was surprisingly comfortable, and the subtle warmth of the system was soothing. He could feel Lyra's presence beside him, steady and calming, but without the tension he had noticed before. "This is remarkable," Lyra whispered. "I feel lighter, more at ease. Your species is clever." Alex smiled. "Thanks, but it's teamwork. Your feedback helped a lot." That night, for the first time since arriving at the station, both Alex and Lyra slept deeply, uninterrupted. Alex's mind drifted easily, and Lyra's presence was no longer a source of tension, but comfort. Over the next few days, their bond strengthened even more. Alex discovered that his human creativity complemented Lyra's empathy perfectly. Together, they repaired small malfunctions in the station systems, often coming up with solutions neither could have managed alone. One day, a warning alarm blared across the station. Red lights flashed, and the hum of the station became erratic. Alex and Lyra rushed to the observation deck. "Hull breach, Sector 5, the station's AI announced. "Immediate containment required." Alex's heart raced. Hull breaches were serious. If not managed quickly, they could destabilize the station's atmosphere. Lyra's eyes widened, her glow brightening with urgency. "We must act now. Your species' problem-solving skills will be valuable." Alex nodded. "Right, let's go." They sprinted, or in Lyra's case, glided toward Sector 5. The corridor lights flickered as the station's systems compensated for the breach. Alex's hands worked quickly, accessing the control panel while Lyra monitored environmental readings with her empathic senses. The breach was small, but dangerous. A pressure panel had failed and the metal around it was warping. Alex realized that traditional tools would be too slow. He had to improvise. "Lyra," he called, "I need you to stabilize the pressure while I secure the panel." Lyra nodded, extending her glowing tendrils to create a subtle energy field around the breach. It hummed softly, pushing back against the air, escaping into space. The station's AI recognized the temporary containment and adjusted internal systems accordingly. Alex worked furiously, using a combination of manual controls and quick programming to realign the panel and seal it with a high-strength bonding compound. Sweat dripped from his brow, but he didn't stop. "Almost there," he muttered, pressing the final controls. With a final hiss and a bright flash from the panel, the breach sealed. Pressure normalized, and the lights in the corridor returned to normal. Alex exhaled deeply. "That was close." Lyra's glow dimmed to a soft, steady shine. "Indeed, you acted with courage and skill." "Your species, humans, are remarkable," Alex chuckled. "Thanks, but I couldn't have done it without you." Back in their apartment, both were exhausted. Alex leaned back on the bed, testing the new adaptive system. Lyra floated beside him, her glow soft and even. "You saved the station," she said quietly. And you cared for me too. The adaptation of the sleeping system, it is more than just comfort. It is consideration. Humans are clever, yes, but also kind. Alex smiled. Kindness is part of being human. And sometimes we just try harder when someone else's well-being is involved. Lyra tilted her head. Then perhaps the tradition is evolving. Sharing sleep is no longer only about trust, but also about innovation, understanding, and cooperation. Your species is adaptable in ways even Velari can respect. Over the next week, Alex continued refining the sleeping system. He incorporated small tweaks, adjusting cushion heights and support angles based on nightly feedback. Lyra's comfort improved each night, and the subtle flinches and tension disappeared completely. Their nightly ritual became something new. Alex would adjust the system, Lyra would provide feedback, and together they found a balance of tradition and innovation. Sometimes they would talk late into the night about their homes, cultures, and dreams. Other times they would simply lie in quiet companionship, their presence comforting each other. Alex realized something profound. Humans were not always the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most technologically advanced. But their ability to adapt, empathize, and problem-solve, to combine creativity with care, was something unique. And in this small corner of the galaxy, it made a real difference. Lyra, too, learned from Alex. She discovered that trust was not just about rituals, but about openness and honesty. She realized that sharing discomfort, asking for help, and allowing another being to care for her could deepen bonds even further than tradition alone. One evening, after a long day of repairs and station checks, Alex and Lyra lay side by side. The adaptive system had become second nature, each knowing instinctively where to adjust for comfort. Lyra spoke softly, her glow pulsating in rhythm with Alex's breathing. Alex, she said, the tradition you have helped it grow, it is no longer only a Velari custom. It is now ours, a combination of trust, care, and innovation. I am grateful for your presence. Alex smiled. I'm grateful for yours too. And maybe one day this will help other species learn from each other as well, human and Velari together. Lyra's glow brightened slightly, a sign of happiness in Velari expression. Yes, together. And so the bond between human and Velari deepened, not just through tradition, but through shared effort, understanding, and respect. In the vast station, amid stars and humming machinery, a new form of friendship and collaboration had emerged, one that combined the best qualities of both species. For Alex, this was more than a successful adaptation or a repaired hull breach. It was proof that humans could bridge worlds, not just with technology, but with empathy, ingenuity, and heart. And for Lyra, it was proof that traditions could evolve, that trust could grow stronger through cooperation, and that even across galaxies, beings of different worlds could find connection and understanding. The night passed quietly, with both of them sleeping peacefully for the first time in weeks. Outside the apartment, the station continued its endless hum, carrying countless stories across the stars. But in apartment 47, a human and a Velari had created something unique, a bond that was both ancient in its ritual and new in its innovation, a reminder that hope, trust, and cooperation could flourish anywhere. The days on Station Alpha 9 passed in a gentle rhythm, a pattern of work, study, and quiet companionship between Alex and Lyra. Their adaptive sleeping system had become a symbol of their collaboration, a testament to how human ingenuity and Velari empathy could merge. But life on a space station was never entirely calm. One morning, the station's AI chimed a gentle alert. Attention, incoming diplomatic delegation from the planet Zorathia. Arrival in 12 hours. Security and preparations recommended. Alex raised an eyebrow. Diplomats already? That was fast. Lyra's glow pulsed softly. Yes, Zorathians are cautious. They value diplomacy and mutual understanding. Their species respects practical solutions. Alex nodded. Well, let's make sure the station is ready. As he went about his engineering tasks, Alex noticed something. The station's docking systems were slightly misaligned, probably due to the minor hull breach repair from last week. If not fixed before the delegation's arrival, the ships could be delayed, or worse, cause damage. Lyra, I need your help, Alex called. This system is delicate and I could use your intuition. Lyra moved beside him, her glow steady and bright. I will assist. Your species' methods are clever, but collaboration increases efficiency. Together, they recalibrated the docking systems. Alex adjusted the mechanical parts, and Lyra used her empathic senses to detect vibrations and stress points invisible to sensors. Within hours, the systems were aligned perfectly. "Excellent work," Lyra said, her glow shimmering with approval. "Humans are precise and adaptable. Your presence makes this station stronger." Alex smiled. "Thanks, but we make a good team, that's what counts." Later that day, while Alex conducted routine maintenance, Lyra approached him. Her glow was unusually bright, flickering with curiosity and excitement. "Alex," she said softly, "there is a matter I wish to discuss. The tradition we follow, the shared sleep ritual, it is now evolved. I believe it could be shared with others, with the station crew, perhaps even with visiting species." Alex tilted his head. "You mean teach them your custom?" Lyra shook her head. "Not exactly. Teach, share, adapt. Humans innovate, we empathize. Together, a new form of tradition could emerge, one that respects individuals while fostering trust and collaboration." Alex thought for a moment. "You mean create a shared system of understanding for everyone, a mix of Velari empathy and human practicality?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, and you have helped show me that traditions can grow without losing their essence. You are remarkable, Alex." Alex felt a warm pride in his chest. "I just wanted to help, but if this can make life better for everyone on the station, I'm all in." They spent the next few days working on the new system. Alex designed adjustable sleeping pods that could accommodate multiple species, with modular cushions, adaptive temperature control, and subtle calming lights. Lyra tested the system, providing feedback on emotional and physiological responses. By the time the Zorathian delegation arrived, the station had a new feature: the interspecies rest and bonding module, a quiet area designed to foster trust and collaboration among humans and aliens alike. The Zorathians were impressed. "Your station is harmonious," one of their delegates said. "Even your accommodations reflect care and understanding. This is rare." Alex exchanged a proud glance with Lyra. "It's a team effort," he said. The delegation toured the station, interacting with crew members who had tried the new system. Humans and aliens alike found it comforting and efficient, a small but meaningful improvement to life on the station. After the tour, Alex and Lyra returned to their apartment. The shared sleeping area was quiet, peaceful, and ready for them once more. "Alex," Lyra said, settling onto the bed, "the tradition has changed. It is no longer only about Velari trust rituals. It is now about understanding, empathy, and cooperation, and you helped make it so." Alex lay down beside her. "I'm glad, and I think maybe it's just the beginning. There's a lot we can do together, not just here but anywhere humans and aliens meet." Lyra's glow pulsed softly, a sign of happiness and calm. "Yes, together." Over the next weeks, the bond between Alex and Lyra continued to grow. They shared knowledge, solved problems, and explored parts of the station that neither had visited alone. Alex realized that human traits, curiosity, creativity, and resilience were not just useful for engineering, they were tools for building connections, even across species. One evening, as they prepared for sleep, Lyra looked thoughtful. "Alex, I have been reflecting. The tradition of shared sleep was meant to teach trust, but now, with our innovations, it also teaches collaboration, problem-solving, and respect for differences. This may be the future of interspecies relations." Alex nodded. "I think you're right. Trust isn't just about rituals. It's about understanding, helping each other, and adapting when needed." Lyra's glow brightened. "And your species, humans, you exemplify that. Even small gestures of care and ingenuity can change perspectives, change lives." Alex smiled. "Well, I hope it does, not just for us, but for everyone out there." The following nights were peaceful. The adaptive system had become second nature, and both felt completely comfortable. Lyra no longer experienced discomfort, and Alex found the shared presence reassuring in ways he hadn't expected. One night, after a long day of station work, Alex and Lyra lay side by side, watching the stars through the observation window. "Alex," Lyra said softly, "do you think humans can influence other species? Not through force, but through care and ingenuity?" Alex considered the question. "I think we already do in small ways. When we try to understand, when we solve problems together, when we show empathy, it spreads. People or aliens notice, and maybe it inspires them to do the same." Lyra's glow pulsed warmly. "Then perhaps our partnership is not only beneficial to us, but to the galaxy. A small example of how different species can live and work together." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of purpose. I hope so, and if it helps even a little, then it's worth it. As they drifted to sleep, the station hummed quietly around them. Outside, the stars shimmered, distant and bright. But in apartment 47, something unique had formed, a bond not just of tradition, but of understanding, innovation, and mutual respect. Days turned into weeks, and Alex and Lyra continued to refine their system. Other crew members began to try the adaptive sleeping pods, discovering comfort and connection in new ways. Humans, Velari, and even visiting species found that the combination of human creativity and Velari empathy created a safe and welcoming environment. Through their shared efforts, Alex realized a profound truth. Humans were not the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most physically powerful. But their ability to adapt, empathize, and innovate, their desire to help and improve, could make a real difference in the universe. Lyra, too, learned an important lesson. Traditions, she realized, were not rigid rules to be followed blindly. They could evolve, adapt, and grow stronger when combined with understanding and care from others. One evening, as they prepared for sleep, Lyra floated beside Alex. The tradition, it has become ours. Not only Velari, not only human, but something new, a symbol of trust, collaboration, and empathy. I am grateful for your presence, Alex. Alex smiled. And I'm grateful for yours, Lyra. Together, we've made something better than either of us could alone. As they closed their eyes, the station hummed quietly, carrying countless stories across the stars. But in apartment 47, a human and a Velari had created a small but meaningful example of what the universe could be. A place where differences were respected, trust was nurtured, and ingenuity combined with empathy could forge connections stronger than any metal or technology. The night passed peacefully. For the first time, Alex felt that his journey across galaxies was not just about work or exploration. It was about connection, understanding, and the power of being human. And for Lyra, it was proof that trust and tradition could grow stronger when combined with care, cooperation, and a willingness to adapt. Together, they had created something enduring, a new kind of tradition, one that honored the past while building a better future for all species on the station. In the vastness of space, among stars, planets, and countless civilizations, one human and one Velari had discovered a simple truth. The greatest strength was not in technology, not in speed or power, but in the heart, mind, and will to connect across worlds. And in that quiet, softly glowing room, they slept peacefully, knowing that together they could face any challenge, create any innovation, and bridge any gap, one small act of trust and care at a time.